Disclaimer: if you decide to exercise, do it responsibly. Start nice and easy and build momentum. You should never rush the process of adaptation. Hi, my name is Oli and welcome to Bodyflight Spotlight. In this series, we're gonna cover the most common mistakes flyers make when learning one of the 4 basic static positions. In today's episode, we are going to talk about back flying and the consequences of a rounded back. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify the problem, understand the consequences or the impact on the performance, also what is causing the issue, and how to solve it. Hopefully, this is going to help you master your back flying. First of all, let's make this distinction. There is nothing wrong about rounding your back. The problem is when it's involuntary. See, back flying is interesting because it's the position that can be flown with the widest range of wind speed. That means we can fly on our back with a very low wind speed and a very high wind speed. But we're gonna have to adjust our posture depending on the wind speed. At low speed, you're gonna work hard in order to go up, whereas at high speed, you're gonna work hard in order to go down. When you are learning static back fly, we are going to start you with a low wind speed, which means a lot of your effort is gonna go towards lifting. And a rounded back is simply not conducive to efficient lift and support at low speed. And that's where most people struggle, because in order to increase your lifting potential, you must arch your back while bending at the hips. Only focusing on lifting is not enough. We want to be lifting and stable, and that's where the hips come into play. The back will be arched and so provide lift, but your butt must be the lowest point of your body on your back that will anchor you into the flow of air, and that will keep you stable. But that's not what usually happens. See, most people end up rounding their back, flexing their trunk forward, lifting their head up. And that sometimes it's because of some physical limitation, but it's actually quite often the result of miscommunication between the coach and the flyer. Students often adopt this posture because all their attention is on the coach and not on what they're doing, and all they can think about is waiting for the next instruction, where they should actually be focusing on their posture. To test if you have any physical limitation that could cause this issue, you will lay on your back with your butt very close to a wall. You're gonna place both feet against the wall, slightly wider than your body. The goal is to have your shin almost parallel to the floor. Then, you're gonna try to arch your back as much as you can. If you're incapable of arching and remaining close to the wall, then you might experience this issue when you're flying. The problem with a rounded back isn't just your back, because having your trunk flex forward actually generates a whole other bunch of issues, like it will limit the range of motion of your shoulders, it will encourage you to chin down and lift your head, it tends to tilt your hips upward, and then your legs are encouraged to go higher. So by correcting the trunk problem, we're actually correcting a whole bunch of problems. So what is causing this issue is a lack of body awareness, tightness of the abdominal region, weakness of the back muscles, and very often it's actually a lack of proper instruction. I'm gonna say it again. When you are learning to fly on your back, you will lose sight of your coach or instructor. It's just going to happen, and it's not your problem. You should be focusing on your posture and what you're doing. And if your coach has something to tell you, it's his responsibility to get in your field of view so you can communicate. And finally, how are we going to correct this mess? Well, first, we are going to strengthen the back muscles. We are going to stretch and elongate all the abdominal region muscles. And finally, we are going to build a reliable mind-muscle connections to make sure that this new posture becomes second nature. Food for thoughts, and I'm going to close on this. Which one is more important, the pilot or the engine? Well, I believe that it's both. A skilled pilot in a powerful engine, that's a winning combination. I don't think it's a good idea to neglect one or the other. Working on technique is obviously necessary. Working on your physical limitation is a little less obvious, but just as necessary. I hope this was insightful and smooth and clear, just like a bag flare.